Christian, how's that?
How are you, Michael?
Wonderful, man. How is your side?
My side is very good.
How are the markets?
Still learning, getting there.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I hope it's understandable.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. The more I actually study the market and the more time and effort I put in it, I can see that it gets a little bit quicker. And it's just I enjoy the journey, man.
Wonderful. It's all about the journey you must enjoy
Yes,
the
yes,
journey for you to actually reach the destination
yes.
that you enjoy as
I,
well.
re- I really like learning the new stuff, so that makes it a little bit easier for me also to understand.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Mr. Salem, how are you? Mr. Salem, are you okay?
How are you, Michael?
Wonderful. How are you? How is your side?
I'm good, 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 good.
How is the market?
Uh, the market is the market, as it is.
Okay, okay, okay. So let's just wait for 2 to 5 minutes. If others are joining, then we just start from there.
Okay, 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 okay.
Anyone with a question based on what you've been experiencing so far before this others join? If you have any question, you can ask. If you have anything to say, you can say it. Anyone with a question, anyone with a compliment, anyone with a whatever.
Now, what is the instrument on the chart?
What?
It's B5.
Your sound is
The
breaking.
instrument is B5.
This current instrument.
Yes, yes.
No, it's not B5.
The US30.
No, it's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yes, it's Bitcoin.
Oh,
I have a question,
okay.
Michael.
Yes, you can ask.
Okay, so this is like a question for you with all your like experience and learning phase.
Yes.
What would you say that is the most important thing to not only make profit but to remain profitable in the market? Or
Okay.
war of is it like some type of things combined together? But what do you think is the most important, three of the most important things?
Okay. That's a very, very powerful question. That's a very powerful question. So to answer your question, I will be so honest and so blunt. So there's a certain video that we're going to upload on our channel tonight. I think those that are editing, I think they'll be done tonight. So there's a certain video. In that video, I actually answered the question that you're asking now. I think it's sort of like a coincidence. So the main important thing, especially when I'm answering it from a perspective of someone who is part of our mentorship class, right? I know that that person is receiving the correct knowledge that is relevant to the current market conditions and everything. If I'm responding to a person like that, the most important thing that you must have, number one, is patience. Patience with yourself, because you might not understand like the whole concepts in one taking, or in one, let's say you attend one session and you expect to understand everything in one session. There is nothing like that, because the information is so deep to an extent that you might think that you have now understood, yet you just know, you haven't really understood. There's a difference between knowing and understanding. So that's why we always speak of repetition. When you repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat those webinars, and you repeat whatever concepts that we share in those webinars, what you're building now, you're no longer building knowledge. You're now building what we call understanding. Once you have built understanding now, there you can actually be consistently profitable even in the long run. That's point
Okay.
number one. So the patience, it applies to that side as well as on your side, as well as you're also trying to grow, depending on how much equity you started with. I've seen many people that are not even patient with themselves, especially in this beginning phase where they are trying to build, especially let's say you started with equity that is less than $1,000, right? You also must develop patience enough with yourself, especially when you're still learning. You're still learning, but you have started trading a real account. You must be so patient with yourself and also patient with your equity, because you are still trying to understand. As you're trying to understand, don't be confused by people or be derailed by people that have been in the game for a very long time, especially when they post their gains, or if you see someone posting themselves making money that you might not be making at the current moment. Because if ever that person, he or she now has a certain understanding that you don't have. That's point number one. Point number two, they now have more, they've gained momentum now. They've gained momentum that you yourself you don't have, which is why you need to be so patient with yourself, especially the beginning phase, so that even if anything happens along the way, you are not discouraged from trading. Most people, I see so many people trying to run, trying to fly in the beginning phase. In the beginning phase, don't try to fly, because if you try to fly and you fall so hard to the ground, it might actually discourage you from even attempting to fly once again. That's why you see, even a small baby, they don't just start running. You don't just start running, you start crawling. After crawling, you move on to the next stage, you start standing. You stand, you fall, you stand, you fall, you stand, you fall. Then from there, you start to take baby steps. Step one, step two, step one, step two, step one, step two, up until you start walking and you start running. Then you can now, that is what we call momentum. So many people, they're not so patient with themselves. You are still a baby. If trading is new to you, it means you're still a baby. So if you're still a baby, you need to be so patient with yourself, especially in the beginning phase. Make sure that you are so much invested in terms of learning. You are so much invested in terms of learning, and you are so patient with yourself in that learning phase, and you are also patient with your equity as you'll be growing bit by bit. Don't rush to have like 1,000% gains in a month or whatever, especially in the beginning phase. Because if ever, let's say you do it this month, yet you're still in your beginning phase, you haven't really gotten understanding, you might try to attempt the same thing next month, and the market can hit you so hard. And once it hits you so hard, sometimes you can even be discouraged to even attempt to make money next time. Why? Because you try to rush, you try to run before you could actually crawl, before you could actually stand. That's point number one. The second point is always always remain positive throughout your journey. Throughout this journey that you have decided to undertake in, always remain positive. Always remain positive. I've seen so many people that are so pessimistic. Just one stop loss hit, you see the person crying. Those people, they're not fit for trading. They can go and try other things, not trading. Trading, it's a game of emotions, it's a game of psychology, it's a game of mental strength. You need to be so strong mentally, you need to be so stable mentally and psychologically and emotionally. If you are not so strong emotionally, mentally, and psychological wise, you're not going to survive in trading. Because trading, we are all about using the mind. We are all about using the mind, trying to suppress any form of emotions as much as possible. So if ever you are weak in those areas, you will find it so hard to realize consistent profitability in trading. So this goes to show you that even if you now reach a level of profitability, or you now reach a level of professionalism, there are days where you can even take a loss. or your stop loss might be hit. That's very normal. It's very normal for a stop loss to be hit. A stop loss being hit, it simply means your current setup that you had, the market didn't obey that. Either is that, or maybe we can talk of manipulation, if ever there was any form of manipulation. That is so normal, even if when you are now a professional, those things, they do happen. But now, that's not an issue. The issue now is, how do you receive that? How do you receive that stop loss being hit? How do you receive that situation? Most people that are so weak, once the stop loss is hit, they are down, they are scratching their head, they are crying. Those people, they're not fit for trading. Those people are not fit for trading. Even if they make money today, in the long run, they are not going to sustain themselves in trading, because trading, it requires a certain level of mental strength, especially even it's not mental strength. It's not only when stop losses are being hit, or when let's say the market is fluctuating, or the market is doing whatever. It's not only when things are like that. Even when you are profiting and making money, you need to be mentally strong to hold certain figures that you've never seen, because trading, it's an industry that will give you the platform, or the ability to actually make money that you might not have ever made in your career or in your entire life. You might actually start to see those figures in trading. And as you start to see those figures, if ever you're not mentally strong, someone can actually be shaken and actually come out of winning positions early. And once you come out early, it means you're going to miss out on a whole lot of money that you were supposed to actually make, if ever you held on to that trade following your setup, not following your emotions or fear. Because there's actually fear of success in trading. Many people, they only know about the fear of losing. That one it's another type of fear, but that one is small compared to the fear of success. Fear of success, this is when you start making money, and as you are making money, your emotions will start to kick in. Your emotions, what are they kicking in? They are saying that because you start to see figures that you have never seen. You start to see certain figures that you've never even handled with your hands. And as those things are happening now, you need to be so mentally strong in order to be able to hold that, and to make sure that emotions, they don't make you to make a decision, but you actually remain as logical as much as you can, and you follow your setups as you were still doing all this while. That's point number 2. So point number 1, patience. Point number 2, always remaining positive throughout the journey. Always remaining positive throughout each and every step of the journey. Each and every step, as you are learning, you discover that someone who is enjoying the journey. Let me tell you this secret. This is something that I've never shared with anyone, but that's the honest truth. Someone who is enjoying every step of the way, that person is going to master this art faster than someone who is complaining along the way. Today you are happy because you make some profit. Tomorrow you are crying. Today you are happy. You're not even enjoying the learning process. You're not even enjoying it. You're not even someone who is enjoying the learning process, who is enjoying each and every step of the way. That person is going to master this game so much faster than someone who is grumping. Today they are grumping. Tomorrow they're complaining. The following day they are doing. They're just confused. So that person is not really going to realize that consistent profitability in the same amount of time with that other person who is enjoying every step of the way. When you're enjoying every step of the way, it's a headlight. It's a headlight to your brain. You're actually telling your brain that this is good, this is good, this is working, this is good, this is working. And once you do that to your brain, it's like you're actually convincing your brain that this is it. And once you have convinced your brain that this is it, your brain will work day and night to make sure that you understand that particular thing that you're doing in the very short space of time possible. So I can say those are the major things that you need to be careful of. Patience, as well as remaining positive throughout the journey. Then the last point now, hear me clearly. The last point, that one, many people, they are going to have problems there. Right. So after you've had patience with yourself, with your equity, you start to see that, my figures are increasing, my equity is increasing, the figures are increasing, the numbers are increasing, right? You are remaining positive, and everything. There comes a time when the mind, when ignorance start to kick in. What is this ignorance? This is ignorance of keeping on maintaining, being consistent with your strategy, being consistent with whatever that you are doing, as you are growing each and every step of the way. Whatever that you are doing, there comes a time whereby you are not tested of consistency. Are you able to be consistent? Are you able to be consistently doing that? Are you able to be consistently patient? Are you able to be consistently positive each and every single day? Each and every single day. Even if when the numbers start increasing to a certain level that you might not have reached as yet, right? You start to see those numbers increasing. Are you able to maintain that that student mentality? What is a student mentality? Student mentality is simply maintaining an open mind. No matter whether you are winning or you're not winning, you're simply still carrying that open mind. A person with an open mind is going to realize consistent profitability every time more than someone whose mind at a certain time or at a certain point is blocked. What is a blocked mind? This is a blocked mind whereby you actually say, I now know everything. I don't know everything. That is a statement that you mustn't be reluctant to that extent. Even if when you start making money, the more, let me tell you this other secret. The more you start making money, the more you start making money, you start to make money today, next week, next month. The more you start to do that, is the more you must now start to be so careful. Start to be so careful in terms of, are you understanding what you're doing? That must always be your question. Did I understand really what made me to make this money? If a trade went my way, do I really understand what made this trade to go my way? So that if ever tomorrow the market comes in a similar way or even in a different way, I know how to respond to the same situation or even a different situation because my mind is open enough. Unlike someone whose mind is blocked now, that person is dangerous because if they make money today and their mind is blocked, tomorrow, then they might not make money tomorrow. Because of their blocked mind, they don't now go into the details to see why did this trade didn't go my way. If ever you carry an open mind, you realize that there were certain points that you missed out. That is someone with an open mind. And once you are carrying that open-mindedness each and every single day, it means each and every single day you are going to notice your mistakes. Even when you are winning, you're also going to maximize and see how you can actually continue to win better. You can actually reach a level whereby even if you are winning, you know that I could have won better this trade. Even if I won the trade, I could have won better if ever I did this and did that and did that. That is someone who is studying even each and every single trade, whether it's a winning trade or it's a losing trade. You are studying to see how could I have done better on this particular trade? How could I have done better on this particular opportunity? I hope I'm making sense. Am I clear?
Yes, Michael, you explained it very well.
Yes, so those are the major points that you need to be so careful on. Those 3 points, once you focus on those 3 points, I tell you, your journey is going to be a very, very interesting journey, and you are going to realize profit even way more than people that have been years and years and years in the game that don't know and don't have this information. So I hope I answered you very well.
Yes, thank you. Was very clear.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone else with a question? Anyone else with a question before I just break down what I want to break down here? Anyone else with a question? Anyone else with a question? I think silence means people they've understood. So let's just look at our expectations for next week, especially on currencies. People, I think we have been analyzing synthetic indices together for a very long time now, and I think it's high time now that I also start to analyze with you currency pairs as well as indices, especially these the top answered, uh, answered you very well. It was just a slight network glitch. So this is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to say. I wanted to say I'll start on breaking down these currency pairs with you so that you see that the strategy that we're using, it works on any market, whether it's a crypto market, it's a forex market, it's a synthetic indices market. It works on all those markets. So let me just look at it. These are the top 3 pairs that I trade when it comes to the currencies and indices. US30, there's US30, there's gold, and there's GBP USD. Those are the only 3 that I trade personally. Then when it comes to crypto, obviously, I also look at these two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, just to see how crypto is moving, because I'm also invested in crypto. I also I also invest in crypto. So that's a very also wise investment that you must also have if ever you didn't have it. So our strategy works on any market, as I've always been telling you. This is US30. Those that know US30, you know that this is an index. This is a stock index. A stock index, it means stocks, all those stocks that you know, which are your Microsoft, your Facebook, once they are combined, they simply use these charts to actually see whether they are going up or going down. For example, in this space, in this time, it means the stocks were actually going up. Here they were going down. So now the good part about these stock indices is that you know that each and every single company, the goal of every company is to make profit, right? So stock indices, mainly, that's why you see even in the long run, they are always going up. If you look even from past previous data, all the way from 2009, right? This is 2009. If you check this chart has been going, it has been a bull market, even though it was fluctuating sometimes, but overall it's going up. Those are stock indices for you, because they are simply those top companies just being represented by this one single chart like this. So US30, these are the top 30 companies that are there in America. They are represented by US30. So this is just a representation. So in this case, we are on the weekly time frame, right? I can go as far as the monthly time frame, but I don't even need to do that. But this is the monthly. If you notice the monthly, it's so clear. If you notice what I'm saying, that it says if you're in a bull market, push, pull back, push, pull back, push, push, pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back, push. Those are bull markets for you. You notice that they are different from currency pairs. Currency pairs, you might find something like going up, coming down, going up, coming down. So currency pairs, they flow like that because they are different from stock indices. So now let's look deeper at what is happening. What is happening on US30? What is happening? I just want us to predict what can happen next week so that we will see, even when we send signals next week, you actually see that whatever happened, it's something that we actually predicted, right? If you put just a rough basic understanding, this is a basic understanding, right? You can see that this is a bullish channel. Bullish channel, it means the market is going up. And if the market is going up, if you notice, first touch, second touch, third touch, and fourth touch, these are simply entry opportunities. Entry opportunity here. This was around 2016, 2015, 2016. And here it actually went all the way. Almost, these are almost like the whole year of going up. This one, same thing here. This was 2020, March of 2020 to around 2021, around 2022, March 2020 to around 2022. It actually shot all the way up. So if you notice, we're at the top there. Just looking at rough understanding, there are two possibilities. Either it can come, respect this high here, give maybe a pullback before a continuation. That is just a rough analysis that you are doing on the monthly, but you are simply going there to identify the main buyers that we're expecting. So according to the monthly, if we zoom in like this, once we zoom in like this, you realize that this is a break of structure. This is now smart contract trading 3.0 that I'm now talking about now. This is a break of structure here. Structure was broken. We broke this high. So after we broke this high, what happened? You realize that around this zone, where you see this weak rejection, but when you go down to lower time frames, you realize that there's a demand that is there. We also had this demand here. This demand tapped into the demand, then started flying. This was a beautiful buying opportunity, very simple buying opportunity around October 2022 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 months. Imagine 10 months of the market following one direction. If ever you really predicted this around October 2022, it was simply going to be a very beautiful, you know that this market is going to go up because our target is this high. That's my TP there. That's my TP. Even if it's broken, I know that after every break of structure, we expect the pullback for a continuation. In this case, I'm simply expecting, I'm simply expecting maybe something like this, come respect before maybe a pullback down, and a continuation like this. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm looking forward to. So this is monthly time frame. That's a rough bias that we've done on a monthly time frame. We go down to a weekly. Going down to a weekly, what we're just doing, we're just confirming what we saw on the monthly. On the monthly, we saw that there's a demand here, which is the demand. If you notice on the weekly, we refine. This is the demand here on the weekly. And you should notice this demand was not tapped. Came the first time, didn't touch it. So there's a high chance that even once it comes and rejects there, there's a high chance that it can come and drop all the way there. Because according to correct structure, this is a higher low here. That's a higher low there. Let me just do this. That's a higher low there. That's a higher low. This one here, it's a higher low. Those that are in Smart Conference Trading 3.0, if ever you've reached those webinars, you know that this is a higher low. Why is it a higher low? Here to the upside, we broke this internal structure. I can say, let's say here, we broke that internal structure, meaning that high there was our higher high. This one was our higher high, higher low, right? Then we kept on going up and up and up and up. Where is our next higher high? Our next higher high is here. We now have a higher high. And remember, once we now have a higher high, market must drop once we now have a higher high. How do you know that that's a higher high? By the break of internal order flow. If you follow internal order flow, where internal order flow was broken, that's your higher high. Internal order flow was broken here. That's where it was broken. That's your higher high. So that high, it's our higher high, right? Once you now have a higher high. So meaning we have the low and the high, the low and the high. Whatever happens in between here, this can simply be internal structure. So now, according to this expectation, you can actually see that this market can even come and test this high. It tests that high and rejects below. That can actually be a good selling opportunity because that will be double top. Double top, the market can come and test this demand that was not tapped. Then continue going higher. This is actually a longer time frame perspective. This is what can actually happen even in the next upcoming weeks and the next upcoming months. This is what can actually happen on our US30. So here, just following it all the way up from that demand, you can actually see that it was respecting this trend line, touch, going all the way up. It's sort of like a triangle going up. All right. So here, once you get the rejection, one can actually sell. Same as the break and retest of the trend line there. Those are simply will be sales all the way coming to the downside. Then our targets going down to the downside. This one can be your first target. Then this demand will be your next major target, right? Then these other ones can also be your targets. Remember, this is a weekly time frame. These ones can also be your targets. Which other? This one, or let me just leave it like this, right? So this can also be a target. This can also be a target. So this is a high now that I'm targeting. This is a higher high. Remember, as I've said, this was a change of character, internal change of character. Once you now have internal change of character, the market must what? Come back, tap into any untapped zone. Where is an untapped zone? I can see that there's an order block. Where is an order block? This is the order block there. That's an order block there. And if you check that order block, it wasn't retested, this order block. This market just closed below, never came back to retest, didn't reach, which is also all this that you are seeing, this double top, or even those weak rejections there that didn't reach there. Those are simply liquidity that the market will come and collect before the market drops. So right now, it's still pushing all the way up. As it is pushing all the way up, you can also see that there's a specific, what do you call this? This is a resistance that was broken, right? That's a resistance broken. It can give a retest maybe before it comes and taps into our zone. So that is also possible, whereby next week you might see the market dropping its retesting the support, which is resistance that is now a support, and also this demand here before the push into this zone where we are kind of expecting the drops to happen from. Right, so this is what is currently happening on US30. This is what is currently happening on US30. Even here to the downside, you can also mark these other demands that were not tapped, especially this demand was not tapped. It was tapped, but the market can still come back and tap it more clearer than the first time. So it can actually come back into this demand as well. So from there, you can actually target this demand as your first target before maybe a break and the pullback, something like this, whereby you come down, break, pull back, continue, pull back, something like that. So this is what is currently happening. So this week, we're simply pushing all the way up. Even this buys to the upside, there was a way that you could have caught them, so easy. Either here on the demand, you could have bought straight from the demand, or gone down to lower time frames, your daily, your 4 hour, your 1 hour time frame. Once you are there, you simply identify any shifts in order flow. For example, here it was a simple break and break of a trend line. This trend line breakout was also another extra confluence that you could have used to enter this buy, right? For example, here now, if you zoom in, there was internal order flow, internal change of character. Internal change of character here. After the internal change of character, the market pulled back, tapped, respected the what you call this low. So on that low, just upon rejecting above that low, it failing to close below this low like this was an entry opportunity. That's a very, very beautiful entry opportunity. First target, you could have targeted the trend line, but I don't usually target trend lines. Those are just minor targets, but I don't usually target. I usually target this. For example, this high was going to be your first major target. Second major target was that one. That was an a very good swing trade that could have actually held from here, October 2022, up until it's almost a 1 month of the market pushing in one direction. 1 month of the market. So here, this was the buying opportunity. This was how you could have got this buy. Internal change of character, pullback. So the pullback can go, sometimes it can go as far as testing the low. Many people they are confused by something like this. Let's say we're going up, change of character, pullback. You're always used to either a supply there or an order block. Sometimes it can even break this and come and test this high, because they know that there are people that will just sell there. So it's always wise to wait for a rejection. Once it comes into this one, wait for the rejection before you enter. So sometimes you can even come and test this, close below, then drop all the way. So that's why even sometimes if you want to enter, especially if you're entering 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes you could even put your stop loss above here, if ever you entered here. But it's also wise to wait for the rejection before you jump into the entry. So this was what happened. This was how you could have entered the buy, right? This was how you could have entered the buy. So this was simply a change of character. This was a change of character to the upside that you could have also. That's an external change of character, internal, external, right? According to this bias, you can actually see that the market might not come all the way down to that demand that we have all the way at the bottom because of this change of character here, right? So it might come all the way to here, which is this immediate demand here. That's why, so it can come, respect our region, come first demand, second demand, then shoot all the way to the upside because of this change of character here. So those are the zones that we are most probably looking at. Those are the zones that you are most probably looking at, as well as this. Those are the zones that you might most probably look at, especially when it comes to taking profits. Right. So these are also other targets that you can also consider. Once your target is reached, either you can come out or you can just shift stop loss to maximum profits, secure maximum profits. So here in this case, I'm expecting a pullback into this. This was a resistance that the market was resisting, resistance. After we break such a strong resistance like that, we also expect a pullback. So here, either it's going to pull back into the resistance and go up, or come all the way into this demand, then shoot up. So all you do is just wait for the rejection, wait for the market to tap into the zone. Once it taps into the zone, wait for a rejection. In this case, this demand will be a high probability entry, because there's a demand, there's also what you call this, a trend line. So you can actually, here in this case, you can actually put your demand here upon this order block. That's a very high probability entry, that one. So next week, this is what we're looking forward to. Next week, we're simply looking forward for a pullback of these buys. Just a pullback of those buys that have been happening. And if you notice there, there's sort of like a resistance as well, an immediate resistance here to the left. Right, that's a resistance there that can actually give us this pullback that we want. So either you can actually take part in the pullback. You can also take part in the pullback. There's nothing wrong with that, taking part in the pullback. But our main focus will be the buys. Our main focus will be the buys around, especially here, especially on that order block there, which is also happens to be close to the demand. So it can come here. Most people, they can be trapped because all they know is resistance. Once it's broken, it's resisted and it goes up. So they can actually come collect liquidity here, because liquidity here will be, stop losses will be below here. They come out, they take out those stop losses, tap into the order block, then fly all the way there. So here they can take out their buy stop losses, then they sell. Once they sell, their sales stop loss will be above here. They are taken out again. So they are taken out in both ways. That is the disadvantage of having retail trading knowledge without institutional knowledge. So this is the overall setup for next week. This is what we're currently looking at for next week on US30, and even the coming weeks on US30. We are expecting the market to push into this region. After we reach that region, that's when we can start to expect some form of once we get those internal change of characters, whatever, once we get those, we take ourselves targeting these levels that I marked there to the downside. So this is what we're currently looking at. All you just do on lower time frames, if ever you want to take part, let's say you want to take the sales, you can simply wait for either the trend line breakout or even extra confluence, like your internal change of character, whatever. Once you get those extra confluence, you can actually take part of the trade. So here there's this zone and also this zone. So we are simply looking at two major zones here. I can also see an imbalance here as well, which is this one. So somewhere around this region, that's where we can have our pullback before our continuation. So this